There is a lot going on here at church today, this whole month. It's really busy from our Sunday mornings to our various classes and events. There's a lot going on, and a lot of effort has gone into planning things out and making sure that everything that we have planned can happen. So first of all, thank you. Thank you to those who have helped in organizing, planning, or volunteering. And thank you to those of you who have shown up and who do show up. As I said, it's busy here, but it's a busy world out there too. And it takes effort to be here, to show up, to listen, to tune in. Showing up really is the theme of our gospel reading for today, too. A father, 2 sons, and a field that needs tending. What is the father asking? Go and work in the field. Learn the work. Continue the work that the father has started. Get to know the vineyard by being in it and helping it thrive. You can't do that unless you're there. Carrying on the work, carrying on the legacy of the Father. I wondered this week whether we might consider that question that Jesus asks after the parable, which of these did the will of the Father? Think about what that will is. To carry on the work, to carry on the legacy. We might ask, which of the two carried on the legacy of the Father? The one who showed up. That's a significant action. The vineyard can't thrive without someone there to tend to it. Someone needs to show up, to do the planting, to do the pruning, to do the harvesting. I imagine the world these 2 young men lived in was fairly busy, as ours is. Things to do, people to meet, appointments to keep, and so on. I could easily imagine the first son may have thought he really wouldn't have time, but then found time or made time, prioritized. The second, possibly answered as he hoped, or possibly answered as one would want to hear, right? Of course, I'll do that. But then got swept up in something else. It happens. After all, showing up, doing the work, it takes effort, it takes time. Priorities. The sons are a good illustration of this. But so is the father who passes on the work. To pass on a legacy is to entrust someone else with the work, to say, I've come to the end of my turn, and this is going to be yours now. That's a big step too. It takes a level of confidence and trust in the person being given that work, that power, really. And the father does this while he's still right there. But he asks the sons to begin the work while he's there anyway. And to do that, while you can still be the safety net or the reference person if questions arise, rather than just disappearing and hoping that they'll figure it out, that's a lesson in and of itself too. And it brings us to a question. How do we handle transition? How do we find a gracious way to step into a role when someone else's turn is done? How do we listen to ourselves to discern when to start training the next person for a particular task? Do we do our part to take a turn and take the time, and then take more time to make sure the transition is done well too? We have a lot that pulls our attention and asks for priority in our lives. We're at a bit of a turning point in a few transitions at our own church, and this text really gives us that opportunity to reflect on how we show up and what we show up for. what is able to continue because of our presence and attention and effort, because we have shown up, and because we understand that the legacies that are passed to us are ones that we will also pass to someone else someday. May we be as gracious in our transitions as we step up to work and as we hand over our tasks. May we also be as intentional in showing up for what we claim to prioritize. May we show up and invite and inspire others to do so too. May we do the work and carry on the legacy of our heritage, tending to the vineyard, working in the field. Amen.